been using an analogy for probably a couple decades. I mean, honestly, well before we had kids. But when you're driving through maybe a new construction site or past a new facility and you see a bunch of trees that are planted and they're, maybe the trunks are an inch or two in diameter, they have those supports, whether it's some, stakes or some posts around them with
Like the
some,
ropes that come
yep,
down
the
and
guy
yeah.
wires there. And that gives them support
Mhm.
and it keeps them straight, growing straight. It keeps them, standing through a storm,
Mhm.
the winds that blow, and things like that. But if you leave those on for years and years and years, they'll be dependent on those stakes in that support. And the root system will be extremely shallow. So if or when those supports are either taken away after too long or they rot out and they fall apart and don't give support anymore, then the first storm that comes through with that shallow root system, that tree will tip over and
Mhm.
it'll be displaced and it could be catastrophic depending on how big that tree is. But if we don't put any guides on those
It's
trees,
gonna grow crooked, it's
yeah,
not gonna yeah, it's not gonna
it'll be
grow healthy.
yes, very unhealthy and things like that. So it's put those supports, put those guides up in your children's lives, but then little by little expose them to the things that they are able to carry,
Mhm.
those burdens that they're able to
Let
carry.
them
And
weather some storms with
yes.
you. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. With you by their side, but remove those supports and guides at a reasonable pace. And then their root system, that taproot will go down, the root system will get big, and they'll be able to weather those storms. And even if, they sway and bend and things like that throughout their teenage years and their early 20s, that root system will keep them grounded and will keep them upright, and they'll likely come around eventually at worst case scenario. But optimally they'll really just thrive throughout all
Yeah.
of those storms that life throws at them.
I
So
always love a really good word picture, and that one is just so good because
yeah,
it gives you a visual example of what we're trying to do as parents. Like, we're trying to support our children and set them on a good trajectory, and
yeah,
then slowly we're removing some of that influence and allowing them to be exposed to different elements, you
yeah,
know? And,
yeah,
yeah, that's just that'll preach.
yeah. It does. Yeah.